Muncie had been a rewarding experience for both Roy and Rosa May. She had 2 young children, but still found time to direct the music program at the Glad Tidings Church, where Roy was pastor. And music had become an important part of the evangelical outreach. The church was growing, but the Assemblies of God was growing too. So Roy had resigned his pastorate and been drafted into the work of the Central District, while Rosa May and the children were left at home. When she wasn't in the pulpit, Willis Short raced back to Muncie, but life for the Weads was getting complicated. Only months after Roy was elected home missions director, there were rumors that the old Central District would be splitting into pieces. There were just too many churches. Indiana might have to have its own district. Roy had a dream one night. He was in the basement of a church when they brought word he'd been elected the superintendent of the new Indiana district of the Assemblies of God. He shared the dream with Rosa May. On May 7, 1946, delegates met in Bloomington, Indiana, and voted Roy Wead as their new superintendent. That very day, he turned 30. May was a busy month. 10 days after Roy's election, Rosa May gave birth to what they agreed would be the last child in the family. He was a boy. That's me, Roy Douglas Wead. I was named after my father and after a World War II hero who was still daily in the news. I was born at 8 p.m. May 17, 1946 in Muncie, Indiana. In order to avoid confusion and to keep straight the 2 Roys, I was simply called Doug. Rosa May would have to take care of the family herself. In 1 month, Roy would visit a dozen churches, raise $2,000, ordain 7 new ministers, launch a statewide publication called The Envoy, organize an insurance program for the preachers in his state, find a new campgrounds for the district, open a new church, and find a new residence for the family. Willis Short came to the rescue. Rosa May, exhausted from her hospital stay, would need to pack boxes. The Weads were moving to Terra Haute. In his new job, Roy would be on the road constantly. Every Sunday morning and evening and midweek, he would preach in 3 different Indiana pulpits. By the publication of the 3rd Envoy, he would write he had visited every Assemblies of God church in the state except 1. They kept a big map on the wall at the office with a pen for every church. The pens began to crowd the map. It would be a time of unprecedented growth. Every month for 13 straight years, he would oversee the opening of a new church in Indiana. On most weekends, to make things easier for Rosa May, he would take one of the boys. And yet, as busy as he may have been, Roy found time to faithfully record his little family's history. In 1946, on Jim's first day in the 1st grade, Roy arranged to film him walking with his teacher and then to reconstruct the official walk from home to school, hand in hand with Sally, the little girl who lived next door. Out of camera, 3-year-old Billy Ed tagged along behind. As usual, Rosa May had dressed them alike, but when Jim disappeared behind the school door, which was shut in Billy's face, the little brother was bewildered. They did everything together. Why not this? Meanwhile, I was the latest attraction. Rosa May's Uncle Everett in Chicago on business stopped by, and Grandma Wead, Roy's mother, came down from South Dakota to visit for a week. On my first birthday, May 17th, 1947, Rosa May aired me out in a playpen on the front lawn of our home in Terre Haute. I was able to pull myself to my feet, and with a little help from Jim tipping over the playpen, I might have been able to actually crawl out. By the late summer 1947, I was walking, and discerning observers might have actually said that, like the rest of the family, I was going places. Terre Haute was a dirty industrial town. It smelled. Homes were heated by coal in those days, and even in the summer, the factories would send out a soft layer of soot. There were 3 boys in the family now. Rosa May was resigned to the fact that she was not going to get her girl. Once a week we had to take a bath whether we wanted it or not, and there was always a black ring left behind. Willis Short usually joined us for Christmas, and thanks to Dad's experience as the son of a store owner, Christmas was always a grand affair, with not only time for faith and reflection, but some serious toys, too.